injury you've had?
Okay. So if we're talking injury, I guess I need clarification.
Okay. Matt has lived his life in as much of a bubble as he possibly could have.
Do we mean, like, does something medical that happened that I didn't actually do to myself count as an injury? Like,
No,
it wasn't something
that is not an injury. No.
Okay. So good. I don't have to say that. Because it was gross. Yeah, I mean, I haven't ever broken a bone. I haven't ever gotten a huge laceration or anything. I've gotten stitches, but they're all from like surgeries where I had my gallbladder removed. So really, I think the worst injury I've ever had was when I threw my back out like 5 years ago. It was so bad, so painful. But that's about it.
My friend.
Mm-hmm.
I have never broken any significant bones. I have broken both of my pinky toes, and I've broken 4 fingers. But that's it. No significant bones. That is something that has always been a fear of mine, to break a bone.
Right. Like break your arm, break your leg. My gosh, that's terrifying.
Break your leg.
Break your leg, break your arm, break your toe.
Okay. But I have, when I was a teenager, I was riding the 4-wheeler, and there's a rule in our house now with the 4-wheeler. You have to have somebody out there with you. You cannot be riding alone.
After Cannon.
No. He had somebody out there with him.
Oh.
He was riding with someone.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a rule that came from my childhood.
Oh.
Because I was riding my 4-wheeler and went out probably 2.5 miles away from where the house was in the field, was jumping big old sand dunes. I ended up cutting it a little too close to the edge of the sand dune. And so when it landed, it flipped. I flipped and it rolled on top of me. And the, what is it? The wheel, the thing that kind of goes over the wheel. It's called something. Anyway, that broke off, had a very jagged edge.
Yeah.
Cut through my pants, down my knee. I still have that scar there. But I got out from underneath the 4-wheeler, flipped it up on its side, on the right side, but it wouldn't start. And so I had to walk the 2.5 miles home. With this huge gash in the side of my leg, dripping blood. Yeah. So that is probably the most traumatic injury that I've ever had.
I guess the second.
Oh, I did get another one. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell one more story and you can share one more.
Okay.
The second biggest injury I've ever had was a concussion. And it happened in a junior high school at summer camp, Christian camp. And there was a game we all played when I was a teenager called Doorknob. And it's, if you burped, your friend could say doorknob or window or something like that. And until you touched said thing, until you touched said thing, they got to punch you.
Yeah.
And so we're out there at camp. We're like under like the rope bridge thing out there, where the obstacle course up in the sky. And it had just rained, so like all the roads and stuff were muddy. I burped, and my friend Dakota said window, and I'm like, I'm not gonna play that. I was doing the jerk move of, don't be so childish.
I'm too cool for that.
And so as soon as he was like fine, and he put his arm down, I took off towards his truck. But like I said, it had just been raining, and so as I'm like reaching out with my hand, my foot slips in the mud, and I fall and I touch the window, but like my top of my forehead down to the bridge of my nose smacks right into the back side panel of this truck, makes this giant dent. And apparently I stood up from that and then collapsed onto the ground very dramatically and was knocked out for about 30 seconds. I don't remember any of that part.
Clearly.
But then I came to, and they made me go to the hospital, and I had a concussion, and so I couldn't play any of the games the rest of the week, which was fine by me because I was fat and slow. Am perpetually fat and slow.
Shut up.
And so, yeah, those are the two big stories of me actually hurting myself.
So when I was about 6, I think this is the last memory that I have of my grandparents' house in Maryland before they moved to Tennessee. But it had been raining, and I have never, ever, 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 ever been a tennis shoes kind of person.
Yeah.
Never. I've always worn ballet flats, even when I was very little. I used to call them my ballet bow shoes. That's what they had, a little bow on them, and they looked like ballet flats. Anyway, but I was running as fast as I could to go into my grandparents' house. They had a long brick walkway that led up to 3 brick steps. Okay. And then just a tiny little patio to go into their front door. Okay. Yeah. So I'm running down this brick walkway. I go to step up on the first step, and because it had been raining, it's slick. And ballet bow shoes have no grip. And so my foot slipped, and my chin met the edge of the brick step.
Oh.
So if you look,
like
look.
Yep.
You hear it?
Yeah.
I still have the scar on my chin where I busted my chin wide open.
Deidre has a very similar scar.
Yeah?
From when she face planted in the street while riding her bike. Like she went over the handlebars and landed chin first.
Yeah. So I think that may take the cake, actually. And it was like 9:00 at night, and I can remember sitting in my parents' car and them driving around trying to figure out where to take me if I needed to get stitches. And I'm just like holding this towel to my chin. I remember that. I don't think that they ever took me anywhere to get anything.
You know what? You're fine.
That's why I got such a bad scar at 31 years later.
Put some Elmer's glue on there. I'm gonna hold it.
I mean, that's what Chris would have done to our kids. He would have put super glue on it.
Super glue, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a few of those.
Yeah.
Super glue welds.
Yeah. I mean, that's what super glue was originally used for. It was used as a military grade
medical aid.
Yep, thank you. Military grade medical aid. Super glue. We are here and available for all of your brand's needs.
Yeah, PG was, they meant all.
Yeah, well, do you watch Gremlins back then? Gremlins.
My Gammy's calling me.
Answer it, please.
And put her on speaker.
Yes, please.
Put her on speaker.
Hello?
Oh, P?
Pops, it said Gammy was calling.
Yeah, it's me. It's calling you. I'm in trouble. I
Why?
don't know what I'm doing.
With the computer?
Computer, everything is dying. I'll tell you, yesterday my Mac died.
What?
Like today, everything else is dying. Let's see.
What do you mean?
I don't know what's going on. Okay, here's what's happening.
Okay.
I need your brains.
Oh, you need my brain.
This is great.
This is the content I'm here for.
Start off yesterday, the day before. Something happened. I could not get my Apple ID.
Yeah, the Apple ID. The lady reset it for you. That
Hey,
one?
don't hang up on him. That's rude.
She didn't reset it. She thought she did, but she didn't. Anyway.
What happened?
Apple ID. I need the Apple ID, and I cannot get it for some reason. I don't know why.
Tell us his email.
Now, it
Hey,
turns
when your grandpa needs tech help, you stop a podcast and it's tech help.
The other thing has died on my computer, whatever it is not only the Apple ID, but also my ink.
Your ink was because Gammy prints too many pictures, you said.
I know, I'm sure that's it.
The ink,
Anyway,
because the ink on the computer screen.
Instant ink has died.
Instant ink? What's that?
That's the stuff that I pay a certain
Get it
amount of money every month.
Oh, the subscription for Gammy to print the pictures. Okay, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, happens, they keep track of how many pictures we made. And what happens when the cartridges are done, they send me the new cartridges. Well, I've not received any new cartridges, and I looked at my account, and it's not run up any use of the cartridges. So I don't know what's going on. So I tried to contact India. Instant Ink is an HP product, and it shows that we haven't used any cartridges at all. They keep charging me, but I don't get any.
So they're scamming you.
Account doesn't go up any. So I tried to contact HP Instant Ink, which is a product that they send you somebody. They send you whatever you use. At the end of the month, they send you this stuff. Anyway, bottom line.
It's broken. Is the bottom line.
I'm getting charged, but I'm not getting any.
You're not getting any ink.
Make sure it's the right address. Make sure it's the right. You're going to the right address.
What?
No,
No,
I
Kate,
was-
don't
I
pull
was-
away. Hey,
I
this is
was
our
just thinking
conversation
how to. Okay, so maybe it's like your subscription. I don't know. I'd have to come look at the computer because I don't know this subscription thing. But the Apple ID, maybe I could help you with it because I helped Gammy with hers and put it on the phones, all of them.
Well, no. What happened is I can see the usage, and it's showing no usage, but it's showing charges. Charges, but no use.
You gotta check his oil. Check the oil on the
I'm
computer.
not using any prints. So what the heck's going on? So anyway, today I'm going to get a hold of Instant Ink, and I got a hold of some
I miss it. I don't get to have these conversations anymore.
called the Instant Ink.
I used to have them all the time.
And they walked me through it.
When do I?
And I said, can you just get me in touch with the Instant Ink?
For our
This
podcast
is it.
listeners,
This is
Kate
it.
is asking when does she hang up. She put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Not getting any.
When the problem solved.
Oh yeah, at
Right.
the end.
Send me all the stuff.
Kate, you got 5 more minutes in the segment. Like, this is perfect.
Looks about right, but the charges don't look right.
Well, they're ripping you off, Pops. So we got to shut it down. They're ripping you off. The ink.
Are they having him pay them in Amazon gift cards?
So I'm trying to have somebody look up my account and see what the deal is. Anyway, she wasn't able to help me, but in order to help me, she had to have the ID, the Apple ID. Without the Apple ID, you cannot even access the account.
For the
Ink?
print, for the ink?
Just the Apple ID.
For the ink?
I cannot even access my account.
But you use your account to order the ink?
The account that orders the ink, yes. So I wanted to look it up to see how much we've been using. Can't even access the account. So I don't know what the
This
heck's
doesn't
going
sound
on.
real to me.
So I needed the help me.
I'll help you, Pops. Maybe I could come over later today, or
Maybe not.
or even tomorrow, and I can sit at the computer and look at it.
Oh, Kate,
Yeah,
911.
I'm not in a big hurry for it.
Okay. Well, I didn't want you to be in a tizzy because I know Gammy printing the ink is stressful. If the ink goes down.
I know that, Betty. Weird is that I cannot get a hold of it myself. I'm the account owner, and I'm paying the bills. So why in the world do I not get to use my account? Because I need to have the Apple ID.
Sounds sketchy to me, Pops.
It's
I don't
very
know.
sketchy.
I don't know. I'll have to come look at it, but don't touch it or do anything more to it because I don't
I'm
know.
not gonna do anything to it. Not gonna do anything, but I need you to help. If you can get me the Apple ID through Apple.
Yeah.
And I cannot even get through Apple now for some reason. I don't know if the computer's dead or what. Anyway, there's that part, and then the main thing is to get my
Ink, yeah.
Instant Ink
Gotta get the
account
Instant Ink.
up to speed.
Yeah.
Because
I would
right
ditch
now,
Instant
your
Ink and just
computer
like order on Amazon.
Yeah,
says
Amazon.
Your account, you're not connected to the internet.
You're not connected to the internet.
These problems are getting
Okay,
worse.
the problem is escalating.
The problem, yeah, the
This might be the whole show. Yeah,
with the,
it's definitely the whole
You
intro.
tell me you got 2 minutes, 20 seconds here, okay?
And then right now
She can
I
see a
can't
timer.
even print it.
Oh,
It says my,
well,
my
it's over
printer
if you
is
can't
not
print.
connected to the internet. Anyway,
okay.
what
Well,
to do with this? Sometimes you get a chance and needs your expert advice.
yeah. Yes, I'm an expert at this kind of
Okay.
thing.
Look at her
Pops.
head just getting so big right now.
Just kidding. Yeah, I'll come help you. I'll give you a call later and we'll sort it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't send me a coupon, huh? Just send me help.
Send you a coupon.
Don't send me a coupon and say you'll come fix it.
No,
Okay,
no, I'll
don't
come.
send him a coupon.
I'll come help you, Pops. I'll give
Yeah,
you a
this-
call in a
yeah,
little
this
bit
is
when I
her
finish
real
up this
grandpa.
thing right now. But I'll give
This
you
is
a call. and we'll
100%
go from
not
there.
this is a real call.
Yeah, not staged.
I had the instant ink person on the line, and she walked me through
It really is, Brother Mud.
I didn't
Right.
get
Quite a
access
finale.
to the account.
Where were they calling from? Do you think? Just curious.
What?
Where? You know, I'll just ask you later. I'll ask you later. Okay, I got to go back into this meeting, Pops. But I'll think about the instant ink, and then I'll
It's a
and then I'll
meeting
call you
now.
back.
Basically,
I'll call
yeah.
you back about it.
There's no rush on that. I try to live without
No,
it.
whatever
Well,
it is,
Gammy's not going to print the
spending his money.
pictures.
They're spending his money. It's a rush.
I'm confused about the Apple ID. Why can
Yeah.
I get my Apple ID back to where it was?
I cannot wait to see how this ends. I cannot
I'll just come
wait.
look at the thing.
Here's what thing happened. Passwords, okay?
Well, don't say anything about your passwords right now. I'll just come look at it on the paper.
Yeah, I know.
They're listening.
It's on it's on a drawer, like it's one of those
Rolodex.
flat drawers.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's just the top of it.
Yeah, so
It's
you
a-
probably
right there.
added some extra
It's a
things, and then
piece
you
of
couldn't
paper
remember exactly what happened. So
that's
then you
taped
changed
to
the
the top.
email.
Of course.
That just has- it
Right
says
there.
password at the top.
Yep. That's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
My password.
Don't- yeah, keep it to himself.
Anyway, so I'm caught in limbo.
Yeah, well, don't worry, Pops. I will help you.
For half the
Yes.
cost,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Send the coupon.
My brain is sharper than mine.
Yes.
Mine is dead now.
My brain's very sharp.
When I get up and she tells me what to do, I do it.
Oh my gosh.
She's not having a
All
anyway.
right.
Okay, sure. What do you get this time?
All right, I'll give you a call a little bit later, okay?
Oh, sure. Whatever.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Whatever you want. No rush.
Whenever you're free.
Bye, Pops. See ya.
Love you.
Stay well. I had no idea.
Incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, can that be a thing? Okay, when we come back next season, can that be a
We need to know what
thing?
happened.
My poor grandparents. They're probably I'll tell you what happens, but
Please.
Like Kate calls her
so
grandparents.
here's the story. Well, they called me. The story with this instant ink is that my Gammy takes pictures on the
We
phone.
were there for the.
Prints them all out on the printer,
Mm-hmm.
and my grandpa was so fed up with having to buy new ink that he got an ink subscription so that he wouldn't have to think about it, and she would always never have the ink and wouldn't complain
yeah.
to him
They're
that he
ripping
needed
them
to
off.
order more. So now he's getting. It sounds to me like ripped off or something.
Yeah, the ink
Weird,
being ordered
right?
through Apple. Like with
That
that's
doesn't
the
make
only,
sense. That doesn't make
No.
sense to me. So that's
unless
why
he used his Apple ID email to as the email that he's using to order the ink. What
he has
I
a
would
Roadrunner
do.
or
Roadrunner
something?
account. He has a Roadrunner account.
Oh, let's go. What I would do personally is I would cancel it. I would probably end up getting. You can put that wherever, Matt. I would probably end up getting them one of those like Forever ink. Like
you can sign up on Amazon for like a delivery service. Like
I
they'll
know.
ship
So
it to you
so
every
we'll
But they-
sort it out. We'll
they
sort
have
it
the,
out.
like they have the bottles now
Yes.
instead
Oh,
of the
right.
cartridges.
Right.
Forever ink. Forever
And so-
21.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's
either
Forever
one.
ink, but
Either
like
one, yeah.
Okay, it's not
But-
it. That's a tattoo place.
I saw
But-
a commercial on the YouTubes that was like I think Shaq was in the commercial.
Oh, he always
course
is.
he
Yeah.
was.
Do
Absolutely.
the computers or tacos? Like Shaq's got two speeds, and it was the printer ink will last you a normal person 2.5 years. So Gammy probably
Okay, so
like a month.
Gammy 6 months. Okay, hold
Yeah,
on.
maybe.
Shaq ink. Shaq ink cartridges.
Yeah,
That'll show up.
Shaq
There it is.
ink commercials.
Shaq says no more cartridges. All right.
It was Shaq.
He does.
All right,
He
cool.
does.
It was
He's always
Shaq.
saying that.
So I hope everyone enjoyed that. I was not expecting that. I couldn't tell if I should hang up or let it keep going.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're glad you
no,
So that's
Appreciate
the
that.
average call that I get from my grandparents.
Well, you're sharp. You're sharp. You have a sharp brain.
I know. See, my grandpa thinks that I'm so smart.
Was your first kiss a success or a complete fail?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And again, just for anyone who's unfamiliar with us, that's not between us. we're not now, not then, not ever. Have been. So
Right.
First kiss ever with anybody you've your very first, like as a teenager. When was your first kiss?
I was 15. I was 15.
I think you went till 15, huh?
Yes.
Amateur.
It was the summer before my freshman year, and oh my gosh. My parents were on a missions trip, and this a friend of ours who was like an older brother to me, he was, I don't want to say babysitting, but he was in charge of my brother and I for the week while my parents were gone. And he had this brilliant idea. He knew my boyfriend at the time. And so he was like, you know what? We're going to go on a double date. He and his girlfriend had been dating for almost 6 years. And so they took my boyfriend and myself at the time on this double date. And in the back of their car, with Scott driving and Angie sitting passenger seat, my boyfriend at the time went in for it. And my first ever kiss was super awkward. I asked Scott years later, did you know, like, did you hear that? And he's like, yeah, of course we heard that. Yeah. Yeah. I can't even, I'm saying it was a complete fail.
That's
a total fail. Like,
funny. That's freaking funny. Okay. So my first one happened when I believe I was like 8. Okay. Now listen.
why?
This wasn't initiated by me. I'm pretty sure the girl, her mom let her watch all these romantic comedies or whatever with her or something. So she had all this idea in her head. So we wanted to go to a movie together. That's all. Like I thought, I liked her as much as you can like anybody when you're 8. But so we're going to a movie, and both of our moms are like, okay, well, we're going to go with you, and we're going to see a movie that we want to watch too. So we wound up watching Grumpy Old Men. That's the movie that we went to see, Grumpy Old Men, which honestly, at 8 years old, I loved, and I still love. It's one of my favorite movies.
It is a good movie.
But anyway, not particularly
It explains
a
so much
kids
about
movie
you.
or a romantic movie. So we're sitting next, and she got like dressed up like we were going to some sort of child prom. Like it was weird. Like she's in like this pink dress thing, hair
Her
all.
mama was trying to marry her off at 8 years old.
So we're like just sitting next to each other, and now they're sitting like up. We're like the only ones in the theater because it's like the 1 o'clock showing on a school day, or whatever. Because we're visiting up here in my grandma, and so they're sitting up in the top. We're sitting like towards the front, and she's like leaning on me slowly and like putting her head on my shoulder, and I'm like, this is weird but kind of cool, as you are when you're a nerd, little nerdy boy. And like she like says my name or whatever, and I just turn to look at her, and she like leans in and just kisses me right on the mouth, and I didn't know what to do, so I'm just like staring forward at the screen, going, I don't know what that was. And my mom saw it happen, the silhouette of what was happening, rushed down there and like said, Matt, you need to scoot over 2 seats, please. So we watched the rest of the movie, not even in arm's length of each other.
Have you ever asked your mom about that? Like, did she go back up and sit next to the girl's mom? And like, how did that?
They were really good friends at the time. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think I have ever asked her about it. I'm not sure she'd remember if I did, but yeah, that was my awkward first kiss.
Yeah.
And then I like never saw that girl again until we were like older teenagers. Like I was already in a relationship with Daedra. Like that's how long time had gone. And it was a weird reunion. Yeah. I think we did talk about that once briefly before not really talking to each other ever again. Which was weird. So I want to read Tad's comment here. So he said he was 10 years old when he had his first one. So the girl told me to close my eyes, and she kissed me at 10. My first kiss was not consensual. I mean, yeah. So I think I've told this on the show before, but like, I had a girlfriend in first grade who went around telling everybody that we did kiss.
Yeah.
And we did not. Not even. We've never even been alone to kiss. And I was really weirded out by that. I'm like, why is she telling? I didn't even ask her directly. I think I'm just like, why is she telling everybody that? I don't understand what's going on. Again, I think her parents were like exposing her to all kinds of adult shows and things that, you know, I never seen before. Watching Winnie the Pooh chasing heffalumps or whatever,
Winnie
you know, and everybody else is growing up way too fast around me. But yeah, so I got rumor shamed or whatever when I was in first grade for something I didn't do.
And you mean you didn't make a big stink about it?
Girls intimidated me.
I'm just saying, like you got shamed in some way.
No. I mean, I guess at the
You didn't
time,
make
I'm
a
like,
big stink about
at the
it.
time, it didn't really bug me all that much. I'm just like, why is she doing that? I don't understand. Why didn't she kiss me first and then do that? I don't understand what's going on. All right.
I lost a lot of respect for Tad now.
I dumped her and dated her twin sister 1 month later. He was 10. Give him a break.
So Thursday night for the fellowship dinner. Okay, so the fellowship dinner is something that we do for people that support us financially and are able to make it to LTN Con. We've done it virtually, we've done it in person, any way that we can. We've done this where it's like, hey, we want to honor you and say thank you with a meal, right? Little small token of our gratitude. You and Aaron take Matt's.
Yeah. Oh, and Asia.
2000
No, it was me and Aaron.
Asia.
And Asia.
They were,
So
that was the problem.
3 people. No, it still wouldn't have worked even if we'd only had 2 people. So
the three of you take
was-
Matt's
yeah.
2002 Toyota Corolla. Or is it a Honda Civic?
one of those.
It's a small little hatchback type car.
Yeah. We went to
and then what
Sam's Club.
happened?
We went to Sam's Club first to get sodas and things for people. So the back trunk was completely full. There was nothing else in there, right? And then we thought, oh, we'll go to the taco place to get this food because we were already out. And Matt said, it's ready now. So we went to go get it and thought, oh, yeah, we'll just put it, on our laps and maybe in the foot area or something. Wherever we'll fit it should be fine. Can't be that hard. Well, we showed up and Aaron and I went in and the guys were like, where's your car? Where's your car? So already we're starting to get uneasy. Like, why are you making it seem like we can't just carry it out of here? What's the big deal?
They were very concerned.
They were concerned. So we pulled the car up. We were trying to put the food in as a team of people comes and brings the food out. And then we thought, oh no. So they kept bringing like big boxes out, boxes and all this stuff. And we're cramming it in. And remember, there's no room in the trunk. So all of this is me, Asia, and the other empty seat there. And we're cramming stuff in. And the guys were like, do you have another car? Do you need us to help you get the stuff? And at that point, we just wanted to leave. And be like, no, it's done. We're leaving. Like, it can't get any worse. And like, oh, one more box. They bring out 2 or 3 more boxes.
Well, but one more and then another and then one more.
And they were judging us.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they looked
Yeah.
at us like, oh, you poor girls. You never like.
It was probably one of
before.
those moments where they were trying really hard not to mansplain that this was not going to fit in the vehicle.
But we had to make it fit. What are we going to do? 2 trips for this? So it fit, and we got
hindsight?
to the church. We got to the church. Beef juice was everywhere in the back of Matt's car.
Everywhere.
Had leaked out of the thing.
Everywhere.
Not our fault though. And
Well,
we pulled up and opened the door. We're like, help, help, help. Because we couldn't get out of the car because we had stuff on our laps. And I could have sworn MDB walked so slow to help us.
oh no, that's normal MDB speed. Yeah.
He walked so slow. But
yeah.
everybody got their food, and it was a great time of hanging out with the fellowship, and everybody ate tacos and had salsa and whatever they wanted to their heart's content, and there were loads of leftovers. But I will never forget those guys.
We ordered enough taco stuff, like build your own taco, for I don't remember how many.
It was like
people.
1,000 tacos or something.
100 or so people, but we had enough for twice that. Like we had so much taco stuff left over. It was nuts, absolute nuts. But you're right. You spilled. I mean, it felt like somebody just dumped beef juice. Like, oh, we missed a spot, and then dumped that over there. And it soaked into stuff in his car.
Oozed
you know,
out.
like shirts or jackets or whatever that were like maybe in the back seat.
Shouldn't have had it in there.
And so it smelled terrible in that car. Every time we would get into it, Matt would gag. And so we started calling it the Beefmobile. Oh, Beefmobile to the rescue. To the Beefmobile.
Yeah, and you know what's the best part is the Warm Beers have a 12-passenger van that we could have used.
Yeah, who needs it, right?
But did not occur to us until we were trying to leave the taco place of like, oh.
Take the Beefmobile. You take the Beefmobile. And then Erin went and cleaned it, and she's like, hey, I think I got the smell out. Not even close. Not even close. And the funny thing is like that night, we were like, where are the tortillas? Didn't they send any tortillas? Where are the soft shells? She's like,
oh they were in the back behind Asia's head.
Yeah, they were in like the back window of the car. And so it was like, I wonder what he's going to find in his car.
Oh, that's it.
This is how bad the smell was.
Surprise, 3 boxes.
This is how bad the smell was.
Oh.
So Matt, after he got done doing hockey, he smells like an absolute dumpster when he's done playing hockey, right? He's just skating around and sweating like crazy and that stuff. He was getting in and gagging after he was done playing hockey. And I was like, how dare you? How dare you get into this car? I have to smell the beef and Matt. And I'm not gagging. You keep it to yourself, my friend.
Oh.
So anyway, we had plenty of tacos. There's probably still more. If anybody wants tacos, just go to Matt's house.
Just go to Matt's house. They'll be there.
Still got them.
What is the worst gastral issues you faced?
I have my story.
All right, go ahead.
All right. When I was going in to have Mila, she was a scheduled cesarean. And so I went in. Apparently, she had lodged herself up into my rib cage. She was stubborn from day one and did not want to come out. Yeah, she was ready the week before doctor's appointment. She was in place, in position, ready to go. But the night before her scheduled cesarean, she wiggled herself up so high into my abdomen to where she was up underneath my rib cage. And so because she was a scheduled cesarean, that took a little longer to get her out, which meant I was open longer than what I was supposed to be, what I should have been scheduled for. And in all of that process, they kind of fill your body with air in order to help it continue functioning. Okay. And that air got trapped inside. And so that air turned to gas within side of me. And it was like
within
side of me.
Side of me.
I want to say it was about 2:00 that morning that I am like frantically pressing that nurse's button over and over and over and over because I was in such pain. One, I had just had a C-section, and so I've got multiple stitches in that same area, that same vicinity. And two, like my stomach was in just one huge knot, and all that it was gas that needed to be released. Gas that had been trapped and needed to be released.
How do they release it?
Well, so a combination of like gas medicine, gas X, and, you know, heat, and then very hard massaging. Very hard. And I'm thinking that it was probably a little more hard than what most people would typically get because I was so, like, I have a very high tolerance for pain, and I was in such pain that I was not being very kind to my nurses. And that is typically when I am my meanest, when I'm in some sort of pain. And so I am trying to explain to them because I know that they don't get it. They don't understand. They think I'm exaggerating. And I'm like, this hurts. This is the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life. You have got to do something. And they're like, Miss Oakes, I'm sorry, we've given you medicine. You know, the heat should be helping. You should feel some sort of relief. No, that is not good enough. First of all, I have just had a baby and she's going to be awake like any minute and she's going to want to eat. And I'm going to need to be able to feed my child without feeling like I'm about to die.
Cut me second of all, and poke me with a pin.
Right. I need to be able to sleep, and I cannot currently sleep with my body feeling like this. So you need to do something, and you need to do it now. And so, yeah, I remember that very kind, oh so patient nurse very aggressively rubbing my back. But it felt nice, and it helped.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So I don't have any like big stories like that, but I did have a terrifying realization not too long ago that okay, so it was about 2 years ago now. I bought earbuds.
Okay.
Noise canceling earbuds.
Oh gosh.
And I only really wear them two places. I wear them when I'm at the church cleaning as a janitor, which I'm usually alone. So if I'm going to fart then, no big deal. But I also wear them grocery shopping. What? And there was one instance where I am grocery shopping and I realize I have felt a fart leave my body that I believe would have been loud. And I had the realization of, how often am I doing this? Because it came so naturally. Like, I just realized that I didn't even try to muffle that. Is it because I couldn't hear it? And so I'm fairly certain for the last 2 years, I have just been walking around Walmart, ripping the loudest farts next to people.
Listen, if you go into an aisle and you see people like take off running, it's because you are now known as the farter. There's the farter. Get out of the aisle.
I will say, I don't have a gallbladder, and that affects my digestion, and sometimes it makes me have to go to the bathroom like immediately. Not like a diarrhea situation, but just like a, hey, if you don't go now, you're going to be rolling in pain on the ground. So wearing those headphones has helped me like go in a public restroom when there's other people, you know, like someone else in the other stall. Normally I'm like, I'm a shy pooper. Just can't do it when there's someone else in the room. And so I like have to go, or I like have to flush the toilet, hoping it's really loud and just get a little bit of it done. Just little by little.
My mom does that.
But like, if I put those headphones on, I don't care. I'll just I'll go to town. I don't care what anybody's thinking because I can't hear it. And so I don't think it's a big deal. And that just made it really scary as to how many times have I just been, how many times have I just been letting those farts rip in public? And I'm legitimately afraid I'm known as the farting guy at Walmart. So I'm there usually 2 or 3 times a week for one thing or another. So that's my life.
I'm sorry.
That's the life of a man who's almost 40.
I will not even lie to you. It happens on the regular that I walk in the library and I'm like, okay, nobody's in here. But then I'm like, wait, nobody's in here, right? Like after it's all said and done. And the other day it was a total, like, if somebody were in here, they'd be like, really? That just came out of you? Like, what?
Tristan says everything goes at Walmart anyway.
I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I did say that I'm normally at the church cleaning alone by myself, and there have been many times where I have quickly found out that someone's in the office down the hallway from with the door open from where I just let a loud one rip. So
And what do you say? Like, I don't even know that I would feel comfortable
caught a
being
barking spider out here. Did you hear that?
no, I'm saying like, if it's Megan in the office, like, what does she say to you, Matt?
She doesn't say anything.
That's what I'm saying.
You'd
Like,
say something, she wouldn't say a word about it.
feel better?
Like, oh, I didn't know you were here. Really? You didn't hear me down the hall? No, not at all.
Yep.
Sorry, you scared me, actually. When you popped in the door, I didn't hear you coming.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Better out than in.
Better out than in, I always say. Do you know rebooting Shrek? I don't want to get into it.
Speaking of Matt and his ears, we got to watch him play hockey.
We did. I forgot about that. This is actually a way better intro than anything that I wrote down right here.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to it. Don't
Which
worry
is
about
actually, yeah. So we got to watch Matt play hockey.
that. And they won.
Oh, did they?
Yes, they did win.
I was just watching and taking pictures and like looking at the stuff around the rink and thinking about how cold it was in there. Way colder than I thought. Probably because there's ice in there.
Kate, it was 1,000 times colder in there than when you all got there. And so I was there for about an hour before anybody else got there, and probably half an hour in the rink. And so when there were no teams on the ice and nobody like in the stands or anything, it was like a real cold, like cold enough to play hockey in there. And then everybody gets in there and start, skating around and, creating all kinds of heat and stuff like that. And I felt like it was pretty bearable.
Yeah, I was just hoping for, sounds bad. I was just hoping for maybe like
A fight?
like a fight or somebody
No.
being like checked against the thing, or like Matt to punch someone, or like there was that video, remember, where he shoved somebody down on the ice?
That's barely how it went down, but yeah.
I was
that's-
hoping for more. I was hoping for more of that. So when people would fall down and get kind of shoved around, I thought, oh my gosh, it's happening. It's happening.
That was the only tie to Matt and hockey that we really had, other than the fact that we know that he's played hockey. But
Was the video of him doing that?
him lightly checking one of his teammates and then taking the puck, right?
Yeah.
But
It was interesting. Matt didn't wear his glasses on there. So I thought, how is he seeing? Because he's always saying how he's afraid that, if he has no
Oh.
glasses, he can't see.
maybe it's because there's such a high contrast between the white of the ice and the black of the puck.
Maybe. Or maybe he put contact lenses on.
Or maybe he's like Daredevil, and he just, like, when he takes his glasses off, he can just
Maybe.
like echolocate.
Matt's game was shocking. I don't think I've ever seen hockey played. And so to see Matt there, who was like 3 feet taller than everyone else, was pretty
He
crazy.
really was pretty dang tall.
That was weird.
Yeah.
And then after the game, we were waiting out in the whatever.
Oh, I forgot about this.
See, this is why maybe I don't remember the details of who won, is because this happened after. We were just sitting there like waiting for Matt because he said he would come out, and Luke had been doing this thing where, he pulled up his phone and opened up AirDrop and would AirDrop something random to everyone in range, which
Yep.
I thought was pretty funny. So we were doing that, and someone messaged us back, like AirDropped a hockey picture to me and Luke. We're like, who's this? Who is this? It came from Oscar's iPhone.
I got it too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I just wasn't engaging with it like you guys were.
But we had to engage. Why would you receive a message like that back and not engage? So we sent something back to him, and looking around thinking, who's Oscar? Which one here is Oscar?
What did you send?
I
Catherine?
I opened up the notes app on my phone and I wrote the word hi, took a screenshot, cropped it into a square because that's, just polite to do, crop it. And then I sent it to Oscar's iPhone. And Luke and I were waiting with bated breath over who is he going to write back? Is he going to write back? He wrote back almost immediately and said hi
yeah.
in the same way. And so here was a context clue. He was using dark mode. So that automatically ruled out some people that we saw around who would be using dark mode. And so I wrote something. I lamented over what to write back to him for a long time. Luke's like, you have to respond, otherwise he's going to lose interest. Like, we have to write back to him. couldn't think of
Luke
anything.
was
So-
very invested in this.
I couldn't think of anything, so I wrote bye. Bye. And he wrote back right away and said no with a bunch of O's. So when we did that last one, we were looking around to see like who, because where we were standing, the seats were like raised up, so there was a guy there we could see his phone.
It was
using-
absolutely him.
He was using dark mode. So we think that was Oscar, although we don't know anything else about him.
100% that was Oscar.
Other than
100%.
so Luke and I were all hyped over Oscar's iPhone. This like conversation without words, using notes, screenshotted. So we started writing a rough outline of like a Hallmark movie about what this could be about, because it was very Hallmarky, you know. So you can catch Airdrop Christmas in something near you soon.
Man, and if you do music, like if you produce music, I would love to hear the theme song for
Oscar's iPhone.
Oscar's Airdrop Christmas.
Yeah, so we just need some. That was just a crazy evening, so that's why I don't remember about if Matt won or lost, because I was
so
too
that was a
busy.
pretty safe environment, by the way, to do that in. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Like a pretty like the there were only maybe 10 people if you count us.
5 to 10 people.
All of us that were there. 10 people tops. That was like your sourcing pool. We then went out to eat after that, and we went to a bar. That was bedlam. Like
that was not the place to be doing it, but it's.
So I think it was Luke that airdropped, and
Yeah,
then,
he's like, let's see what happens here, because there were two nerds, and I say nerds in a loving way because you could tell they were one of us in the corner.
and so then they sent something back, and it was like fine-ish, like it wasn't super bad.
They were fine. It was the
that
other
was playing
people.
with fire, and we caught eyes and we were laughing with them, but it airdrops to everybody. And the next couple were like, I think we're done. I think
No, we're done.
This
Nobody
was a bad
engaged.
idea.
Nobody engaged.
Disengage. It was bad. So I don't recommend that. I think that in the right context, that can
The
be
context.
fun. But you don't. Yeah, abort. Absolutely.
Like Oscar, that was fine. Oscar was fine. And then sending it to the mom with the kid that was across the way, and she was like,
that
what
was
is it?
fine too. Yeah.
That's fine. But
Yeah.
in this one, it was scary. We're like, oh no, what's going to show
Nope.
up here now? We don't want to see it.
Bad news bears.
Happy birthday to you. You have to sing this one. Happy
Oh, I'm
birthday
like, that's not mine. To you. It's not my birthday for a while.
Happy birthday, dear Mila and Perrin.
Both of
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
I was not informed any of this was happening, nor did I know who it was.
You should have known that. Listen, I'm not the only one around here that can just be remembering people's birthdays.
I don't care. You know this. I don't care about birthdays. I don't care about birthdays. No.
You can kick rocks for not caring.
Essentially, everybody can kick rocks with their birthday. I don't care.
Anyway,
I cannot even
care.
remember my own
So
kids'
Perrin,
birthdays.
happy birthday. Mila, happy birthday. Perrin is our friend KY's middle son.
Yeah.
And we found out, we found out while we met up and had brunch and walked around Pigeon Forge a little bit together that they are birthday twins.
Okay.
Yep. And then Mila, it was so cute. I want to say 2 days ago, maybe. She was talking to a friend and asked when her birthday was. And her friend was like, oh, it's in July. And immediately Mila goes, July what? And she goes, 5th. And she was like, oh, okay, my mom's birthday's in July. I thought maybe you were birthday twins. I have 2 birthday twins. And then went on to tell about a friend's mom who is her birthday twin, but then also about Perrin
That's awesome.
that we just met. Yeah. So anyway,
I have never felt more judged in my life. I'm sure I've told you this story before. Than when we had taken both of our boys to the doctor, and Deidre was still like getting them out of the car, and I had just come in to check in, and they're asking me what my son's birthday is.
my gosh.
And I say, and I'm getting them both confused in my head. I have all the right numbers, but I'm confusing the two of them, like what the day is. I'm like, oh, crud, you had to ask me that. Hold on. And I'm sitting there, and it took me a second. And she goes, we'll just wait for your wife to come in. And I said, no, I got it. It's March 12th, 2014. March 12th, 2014. And she goes, well, we'll wait till your wife comes in.
Right?
I
Because
said,
now they
I
can't
think
trust you.
That's it's okay. Just don't worry about it. We'll wait. And I'm like, oh, I feel 2 inches tall.
You should. Birthdays are important. We get into
are
this.
they, though?
Matt, don't start with me. We get into this all the
I'll tell you
time.
what's not important. Celebrating your birthday month. The whole month long.
I don't really celebrate my birthday month.
Then the phrase birthday month should never come out of your
My
mouth.
birth month. No, I say that to remind people, hey, my birthday's coming up. You only have 2 weeks from today. It still didn't
goodness.
work because, when my husband had a seizure a day before my birthday, he wasn't prepared.
He didn't have a backup plan.
That's right.
That's on him.
Yeah. There I sat, floating in the pool by myself in the backyard. Kids didn't bake me a cake, didn't even make me homemade cards. Nothing. I am not bitter. I am not bitter. I am not bitter. This was 3
He's
years
over there
ago.
just hoping he doesn't have a relapse there. Another shaking fit, but no, don't worry. He probably still has a slight concussion from the fall he took while it was happening. And
He wasn't. No, he didn't fall.
I'm kidding. I'm
No.
making it look where it was.
He was laying down. Now
He had the comfiest seizure of his life. He was pampered.
That's not completely factual because I thought he was joking
Oh, I forgot.
and he was scaring the kids, and so I threw a bar of soap at him. And so I'm sure that there was some residual effect from that bar of soap clocking him upside the... It wasn't the head, it hit him in his stomach,
I
but still.
forgot all about that. That's awful.
Yeah, so every time that I try to bring up how he completely forgot my birthday, was not planning for my birthday at all, he's like, yeah, well, at least I didn't hit you with a bar of soap. And I'm like, really? Can't I have something?
Oh, gosh.
Nightmares. Bum, bum, bum. Do you want
You
to?
want to do this during the intro?
Yes.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Absolutely, I
Okay,
do.
Sure. Hey, it's your world.
Let me tell you a story about an actual nightmare that I had
Got it.
several weeks ago. And I woke up and I told Bubba about this nightmare.
I was there.
I just have to tell you. I was somewhere, doesn't matter where. I was looking through my purse and I found all of these receipts. And for some reason, I decided it was hugely important that I cut these receipts up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started cutting them all up and I looked down at my hand. And you are going to think that I'm going to say I cut my hand. No, I did not. But in my hand was a specific pair of scissors, which was in fact my fabric shears.
I forgot the
And
punchline.
I was horrified that I was cutting paper with my own fabric scissors. It was
So this is like this is your fears in real life
I guess
finding you out in your dreams.
my special scissors
I'm not
that
allowed to
Julian
even-
bought me for my birthday.
I'm not allowed to even look at those things.
No one is allowed to touch those scissors except me.
Yeah. And PJ when he's digging in the dirt.
PJ has gotten them, and that is terrifying because they could chop a finger off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my nightmare. Do you have any notable nightmares that would also be appropriate to share on this podcast?
Yeah, no, here's the thing. Anna says that because a lot of my nightmares are like either she's cheating on me or I'm cheating on her. Like those are the nightmares. But I don't really have nightmares. And that's not a brag. It just is. I don't remember my dreams most of the time. When I sleep, I am asleep and I rest and my brain shuts down and it shuts off. But there are some times where I do have nightmares, and my nightmares they're either absolutely terrifying
Yeah.
or boring
Then why is it a nightmare?
Well, I wake up.
As boring as cutting paper with fabric scissors?
Yes, and I will give you an example. Within the last 2 months, my nightmare that I had was that somebody was disappointed in me.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's sad, right?
That is a nightmare sometimes.
I
remember
forget
a nightmare like
the
that.
whole circumstance of it, but it basically ended with me trying really hard to do something and somebody going, no, that's just not what I wanted. I was like,
I'm laughing, but I don't
I
feel
know.
like I should
No,
be
I know.
laughing.
Okay, well, I can
That's
top
so
it.
sad.
I can top that because like a reoccurring nightmare that I had forever. I mean, most of my adolescent and probably early 20s even. This is so stupid. I'm saying this out loud. I was going through a maze, and I don't know, just a maze, and I don't know why I was there, but I know that one of my older brothers, my oldest brother, was at the beginning of the maze when I was going in, and my other older brother, my younger older brother, you guys know him,
Got
Jeremy
it.
Pay. Okay, he was on the inside of the maze, and the crazy thing about it was there was a giant, and I mean a giant not like giant, not like the size of this house, but like the size of this table. So probably about 4 foot wide by probably 6 feet tall, a giant marshmallow. And for whatever reason, again, the root of it was disappointment. I needed to lift it. I needed to prove that I could just move it. Like it was a Mjolnir, the marshmallow, right? I needed to prove to my brothers
You were not worthy to lift the marshmallow.
I can
Excalibur.
I can feel myself
Jet puffed Excalibur.
trying to lift this thing, and I'm sure if you are watching me sleep, I'm straining while I'm doing it. And that was my
Have you
nightmare.
had this dream since we've been married?
I have to have. I don't have it nearly as much anymore, but it was monthly, just regularly. And
Good to know.
I mean, I could feel myself trying to lift that dang marshmallow.
Marshmallows are scary, y'all.
Yeah. So anyway, it's either that or somebody tapping on the window. Yeah. And
No.
We don't have time to get into that one. So, but like those are the two extremes that I have are either like legitimately poop your pants scary or I'm disappointed in you. Like that, those are my end caps.
I still don't know if lifting the giant marshmallow is the same type of scary, Marco,
Yeah. Hey, Marco, we're trying to do a podcast here later.
as window tapping.
No, it absolutely is not.
And
It absolutely
obviously,
is not.
I have had other far scarier nightmares. As a parent, they change, and like things like you're in some sort of scary situation in a like crowded building with your children, and you're trying to get on the elevator, and your kid doesn't make it on.
Oh,
something
I've
like
had
that.
a ton of those
Ugh,
where
those
like
are
we've
awful.
lost the kids.
I've had so many of those, and some of them I just can't even like repeat. They've been so terrible.
Yeah.
But so the fabric shears though was like,
I remember when you told me that you were so mad.
yeah.
Oh man, that's
Why
hilarious.
would my subconscious do that to me?
It's a story that I haven't told on the show and I wanted to tell. And so I'm using this as my opportunity. Mo posted her and
I posted nothing.
I'm sorry. Mo's friend Samantha posted a picture of her and Mo while they were on like a little trip, I guess to Lubbock or somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to tell her that you said she was my friend and not our friend. I'm just going to say that.
In the photo. I'm not in the photo.
Whatever.
The friend's in the photo. Sam posted a picture of them going to Texas Roadhouse, which is, I don't know how widespread they are.
I mean, we
Are
have
they
them on
just
the
in-
East Coast.
Okay. So they're
Yeah.
pretty well known. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just in Texas.
No.
It's Texas Roadhouse, which if you've been to them, they're loud, they're full. There's always a ton of people in there. They're cranking tables out real quick, like it's high turnover, high quick, move along, very loud, very fun kind
Move
of
it or
restaurant.
lose it.
good kind of southern Texas food. Okay.
Yeah.
I had not been to one in over a decade, I think. But a couple months ago, John from the Two Words podcast and his wife Hillary and I all went to a WWE show in Amarillo, Texas. And so before we went to that show, we're like, let's grab some dinner. We're like, oh, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. There's Texas Roadhouse right here. So we get seated right away. Now, there are at least 200 people in this restaurant. Like, it is just jam-packed. Every single table, there's tons of tables, 3 different, like, giant rooms full of people, and just every table full. We get, like, the last table that's open at the moment. And we slide in, and one of their big deals is they make their rolls there. Like, they make them, like, from scratch, make their rolls there, and their rolls are, like, buttery and good, and they give you tons of them. And so they gave us a basket of rolls as we sat down. And we're waiting. Our waiter hasn't even come to us yet. John is going to butter a roll. He picks up a roll and he opens it to butter it. And there's something black in there. And John's like, that's weird. How did they manage to just like burn one little piece of the bread inside the bread? And it's like baked in there solidly, this piece. And he's like, tapping on it, and he pulls it out, and it is an acrylic fingernail baked into the roll. And so our waiter comes immediately after he finds this, and John says, I really hate to do this to you because you look like a nice guy who just wants to go about his day, but can you tell whoever lost a fingernail that I found it? And he goes, are you serious? And he's just in shock looking at this and apologizing. And we're laughing about it at the table. I mean, I'm rolling laughing. I'm having trouble breathing at this point. I'm laughing so much. And he goes back, and the manager lady comes out and goes, I'm in shock. Nothing like this has ever happened that I'm aware of. Nobody in the back has fingernails like that right now. So I don't know if this was from the earlier shift who made the dough or what. But we're gonna comp your meal, which was really nice and unnecessary. But the fact that there are 200 people or so eating in this restaurant, there are baskets of bread with at least 5 or 6 pieces of bread in every single one of them. And John...
Nobody has nails like that because they're all in the rolls.
They're all in the rolls.
They're all in the rolls.
John happened to pick the one Texas Roadhouse with the one table with the one roll that had a fingernail in it.
Leave it up to Berkey, why don't you? If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him. That's for sure.
For the record, we did eat the rest of the roll.
Did you open them and examine them
absolutely.
before?
Every single one of them was opened.
And we've all learned a lesson here. Always open the rolls. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be going back there. I don't think I could get past it. Like, we were already there, so I stuck it out, but I don't think I can go there again.
Still can't hear out of my ear. It's now been, what, almost 3 weeks? Has it been 3 weeks? Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 weeks on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I just can't hear. Here I am.
No, well, you get 2 ears, so it's fine. You got a backup ear.
I've adapted. I can hear people. It's just I don't like hearing my voice in my own head all the time.
Yeah, cryptolinguist, absolutely.
Time for a hearing aid. You're not wrong. I actually thought about asking the doctor just for like a temporary one. Be like, can you just help me out, please? Give me a little hearing. But
I'm ready for us to move to telepathy, so I don't have to worry about
what am I saying right now?
Multiple man.
No, bring me a cheese pizza. Yeah, my eardrum burst, and or there's still an infection, both and.
Yeah.
Went to the doctor a couple days ago, and it's still very infected, is what they said. So I'm on a new antibiotic.
Crypto, don't feel bad for not knowing that and making jokes. That's kind of how we operate around here. Is we're very fluent in sarcasm, and so
Say
nobody's
what?
feelings were hurt
No, I don't get it.
in the making of that comment.
I wish my vision had improved. Man, I actually would I give up one ear to not have to wear glasses? Oh man, that's a tough question.
Yeah, absolutely, you would.
Like how?
Absolutely, you would.
2020 or like 30-30?
Even if it was that, like, what are you at right now? You're in the negatives.
No, I'm in like
negative is
2.7. My
negative's
prescription's
good.
like negative 2.75.
That's bad.
It is bad.
Dude, if I were wearing glasses and you're like, hey, you could only hear out of one ear, but you would have 20/20 vision, I'd do it in a heartbeat. That's
Just
not even a
enjoy
question
your
for
young
me.
spry eyes and your young spry ear holes. Lisa, no, my shelf is still. I'm not going to put it back up.
That was gnarly, dude.
For those of you who don't know, here's a quick story. Was going to bed the other night and heard this massive crash downstairs, and Erin wasn't in bed yet. She ran down there. We thought a kid had fallen down the stairs, and we were like, "Everybody okay?" Went down there, and she didn't see anybody. Didn't see anything. And Avon came back up, and he's like, "What was that? Did you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah, did someone fall?" "No, I don't think so." I was like, "Avon, actually go down to the office, the game room. It actually sounded like it came from there." And so he ran down there, and then Aaron yelled upstairs, "You better come grab Dice Throne before it falls." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So ran down there, and I had some shelves at the top of the room with stupidly my most heaviest games.
Yeah, wouldn't
Too Many Bones was up there, and that game is 80 pounds by itself. And there was a Too Many Bones expansion up there, and that game, that was probably another 20 pounds. And then Scythe and Nemesis was up there, and Dice Throne. And so all these super heavy games, and one of the two shelves had just fallen off the wall. Multiple men, HeroClix were scattered everywhere. Thankfully, they didn't break.
To the
My
four
Anakin
winds.
Podracer helmet fell off the wall. I didn't show this, but and the goggle pieces popped off. So I need to glue them back on. It's just bad. It's just bad news bears. Boxes were have holes in them now where the shelf fell on them. But what can I do? Except I'm going to make it built in.
So I was very pleased, and I posted this on your post there. I was very pleased that didn't fall on your head.
Yeah, or imagine if this computer, those of you who don't know, I have a new office. The church here allowed us to use one of the rooms as an office. So my computer went from my house to here, and if my computer would have been there, I guess it would have probably hit a monitor or two.
Oh, it would have been pretty devastating.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been great.
Probably would have wrecked your keyboard.
Probably would have wrecked my keyboard. But
And at least one monitor. Yeah.
Probably this monitor right here.
That's the money monitor right there.
That's the money monitor. That's the 4K show me the business monitor.
Too Many Bones might have killed you.
Too Many Bones would have killed Penny. Yeah, that would have
just would have been a grease stain.
It would have been
where she was.
At least something would have been knocked out for sure. That box is very heavy, and really, that's the one I'm most sad about. It's punctured. They pierced a hole in it. It's dented. Well,
Frost has
it's fine.
It could have knocked the infection out of your ear.
That actually would have been worth it. It knocked the infection and my glasses off, and I would have been like Peter Parker, and I'd be like, and suddenly I would have muscles.
Abs.
Yeah. So easy. No, I'm just, the games are fine. It's just the boxes. And I constantly am reading people who get their Kickstarters in the mail and they're like, my box came in dented. And I'm thinking, who cares? The game's fine. But
Matt, do you remember when we used to carry about stuff like that? We used to we wanted pristine boxes and all that stuff. And then I think somebody introduced us to ding and dent prices. And we were like,
I know.
I thought they only did that with soup cans. I'll take it.
Might be dog food.
So I got to go to LTN Con this past week, which was it was a blast. It was cooler even than I imagined it being.
That's not what you told me in the messages.
This place sucks. No, it was really.
Be glad
really
you
cool.
didn't come. No, I'm just kidding.
It was really cool. Getting to put faces to a lot of the names here was really neat. I got to meet quite a few people including
There are two that I'm pretty bummed, like
including
super bummed about.
our friends Thray and Megara, who have been notoriously anonymous
Yeah.
for the last 2 years that we've known them. Like, no faces, no real names. Not even sure. I'm pretty sure Meg that's her real name.
Well, yeah,
but-
but to the point to where like I started wondering if they're celebrities. Are these people somebody, and that's why they don't want us to know who they are?
But I gotta tell you, this is the story I want to share, was how I completely missed my first opportunity to meet Thray and Megara properly. Okay. They were already there, like ready to meet me. They were walking up behind me as I'm getting all my little radio area set up. The camera's already going or whatever. They come up behind me and they're just kind of talking, just chatting. They offered, Thray said in the chat, offered to help. I said, I think I got it. And there.
Did you not recognize voices?
Look, there's a lot of people talking in there. There's a lot of things happening. And I'm not thinking in my head, listen to every single voice to see who's who. But also, and I told them this too, they look much younger than I've envisioned them in my head when I hear them speak. When I hear them speak, I envision them closer to our age, mid-30s, mid to late 30s kind of thing. They're much younger than this. And they look even younger than they are.
Well, I mean, I figured that they were much younger than us.
I'd never, for some reason, I just, I think it might have to do with the level of
Maturity. They're
it's
okay.
immaturity, yeah, but the word I'm going for, more like gravitas, I guess, that Thray has. Like, Thray just has this level of authority about her, just because that's her personality.
Yeah.
And so, in my mind, that's just something that I've done since a kid. Someone who has authorities, older than me. I didn't think it was older than me, but thought, an older person. So they look even younger than they are.
Okay.
I thought they were somebody's teenagers. Just kind of heckling me at the same time while I was getting stuff set up. And Thray's like, I don't really want to be on camera because she's standing there. I'm like, well, you're standing right here. So, I was doing the whole polite, thanks for hanging out, I'm busy kind of thing to shoo them off. And so a few hours pass by. And Oriole and Silver and Rogar, a few other people, are finishing up we're finishing up a D&D game. And I walk in there and someone mentions that Thray and Meg are already here. And I'm like, they're already here? And they're like, yeah, and you already met them. And they turn around from the next table. So yeah, we came up and offered to help you and talk to you and everything, and you just didn't even. I'm like, I started having a brief panic attack. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was you too. And I said, no, I don't want this to be how this starts. And so I left. I left and I came back like an hour later and sat down at their table as they were finishing up their game and properly had a conversation with them. But it was very embarrassing.
It's situations like this that prove I should have been there.
You would have made things a lot easier.
One, I have a really good feeling I would have recognized their voices. At least like to the point where I would have been like, Matt, we know those voices. Matt, who is that?
Yeah, no.
And then that would have at least caused you to stop and listen. Matt, who is that? And two, I would have been like, Matt, stop. You're being rude. Chill out.
I was so concerned about getting everything ready on time that I just was blocking everything out. And yep, I was being very rude. Inadvertently, I wasn't trying to be rude, but I was. Anyway, they were very cordial about it.
As his voice raises an octave. Anyway,
they were very cordial about it, and
I wouldn't expect anything less. I mean, I might
And
would
fun.
expect them to stab you a couple times, but you know.
They were fun.
Hey, man, tell us a little bit about your hand.
Yo, why were you there? Let's start.
Well, way back during LTN Con weekend, I played a hockey game.
20
That's actually the last
20.
hockey game I played. That was a month ago. And in that game, right in the very beginning, a guy tripped me pretty hard, and I fell on my hand, on my wrist, and it didn't feel good. I went to the bench. I played the game. I scored a goal. Right, I scored a goal. That game. Yeah, we won.
I don't even remember that happening. Maybe because I was airdropping people.
Right, it's
So
the
many
same
people
thing.
fell during that game.
Yeah. So I fell early on and the guy tripped me. And so I've just been kind of like ignoring it and hoping it got better. And I had that whole ear problem happen here not long ago. And that took a lot of my attention. And I thought maybe like it's just carpal tunnel. Like maybe, you know, I did the same movement for 16 years at Starbucks and maybe it's just coming back to bite me. And just this past week, it's just been hurting really bad. Like anytime I put any weight on it or turn it the wrong way, or like if it's pressed on, it just is very painful. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to go quickly to the immediate care and have it checked out, because it's like the first morning that I've actually been able to like go and like Bub and I were going to meet, and I was like, I still have time for this. I still have time
Totally
to get
blew
there
me
and get
off.
back. It's going to be an hour long at the very most. Well, it turns out it wasn't.
You didn't
No,
even
it was
say
not.
that you weren't going to be
No.
there to Bubba?
Nothing.
I
left him hanging?
thought I was going to be back in time.
Well, there was a point where you would know you weren't.
I
gonna be.
know that. And then I actually started typing on message. I'm like, I'm almost done. It's going to be okay. And I knew you were meeting with Radio Matt, and I was like,
Yep.
it's going to, like, I still have time. It's going to be, we still are all right. And then it got to the point where it was too late. And then I had to still sit there for 2 more hours.
And I didn't want to be naggy.
No, I should have just said it right away. And I didn't. I apologize.
Oh, apologies.
Long story short, long day short, I finally see the doctor and told her all the symptoms. My wrist is swollen, like where it hurts. And she came in and she's like, oh, yeah, like based on what you're saying and where it hurts and like how you're moving it and that's how it hurts, like I can almost guarantee it's broken. I'm like, okay. She's like, I'm going to x-ray this thing. I'm going to come back in here and tell you it's broken. And I'm like, I've never had a broken bone before, so we'll figure it out. I'm just kind of like ready to figure out why it's hurting. What?
You've never had a broken bone?
Never had a broken bone before. Not in all my days.
Well, neither
All
have
that
I.
hockey.
Not to like outshine
all that
you.
hockey. So
Kate,
wait a
all
little
that
more.
hockey.
All that hockey. No
Never
broken
had
bones. I would say the only thing I maybe broken, I never went to the doctor for, because that's like a common thing in my life, is I kicked my sister's desk one time chasing after her, and I busted my little baby toe, and I just walked on it and didn't do anything. So it may be broken.
It
I don't
turned
know.
black and fell off, but like
Yeah,
it wasn't
was
broken.
fine. So after I finally weighed, she's like, I'm going to go to the x-ray machine warmed up. And I was like, oh my gosh, please just get me out of here. She comes back and I get 3 x-rays on this arm, and I go, and they're like, it's going to be about 20 minutes. We have to shift this off to someone else for them to read it and then come back and we'll let you know. And I was like, okay. I went back to the little waiting room, and they come in. She's like, you won't believe it. I'm like, I don't know if I will or not. She's like, it's not broken.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
pregnant.
Yeah, we found it. It's a baby. No, she's like, it's not broken. I had him run it 3 times because I just like couldn't believe it. She's like, I had him like double and triple check it because it should be broken, and it's not. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? She's like, well, it means you've probably either severely sprained it, or your tendon is either stretched or partially torn. And I was like, I kind of would actually rather have just
Yeah, can
be
we go back to broken?
Can we go to broken, please? And so she wrapped up. She's like, we're going to wrap it up for you, and you're going to leave it wrapped up for a week. And if it doesn't start to improve, you're going to go see a hand specialist, and they're going to have to do some checks on your tendons and whatnot. And you may have to have surgery if it's torn. And so
Take it all off.
What's
that's
a
where-
hand specialist? A handtometrist?
a handectomy, yeah.
Handectomy.
Handectomy. Let's cut her right off. So I don't know what's going on. I told her that I needed to get it checked out because I wanted to play hockey on Sunday, and Aaron didn't think it was a good idea. And so she came back to me and she said, we had talked about hockey, and she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you can't play on Sunday, but you probably should ask your wife what she thinks about that and let her make the call. She's like, it's probably not a great idea, but you've been doing stuff on this for so long. I was like, yeah, gosh, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what's the conversation? Oh, if I do this, I'll never write again. It's the left hand. You're not doing anything.
It's
left
my
hand, the right
hand. It's my right
so you're
hand.
gonna be left-handed.
So how have you been writing this whole time?
My fingers work. See, look at that.
Matt, here's the thing, Matt. How much have you written in the last couple of weeks?
I signed my name on some things, and it didn't feel good for what it's worth.
Well, to do a signature, you could use your other hand.
I'll
That's
use my
true.
mouth.
Yeah,
Or
use that.
thumbprint.
Yeah, or
Oh,
your
yeah,
foot.
we're-
Use your
absolutely.
foot to write.
You're
the
good. There's
signature.
so many ways to validate you as a human. Like, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I did try to go and buy like a wrist brace, thinking that was going to help me. My hand and my hands are so big, like it just cut off circulation, and so it
Look
didn't
like a
work.
boxer.
I look like a boxer. You
Yeah,
don't want to box me.
They under the gloves. They do the yeah. You look like a bare knuckle boxer. There we go.
I don't know. I'm pretty like stubborn. I don't go to doctors very often, so
Well, congratulations.
thought I would.
I don't know.
Obviously,
be
your
good.
body's pretty stubborn too. If they're like, oh, it's a doctor, a medical professional says it's absolutely broken, and your body's like, watch.
Oh
this.
yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
You're not my doctor.
Yeah.
Is that
Nobody
a flex
tells me
or
when
what
I'm
at
broken.
that point?
I don't know. You're like, "Ugh, you're never gonna heal right. Take that. No, it's probably fine.
What if you just got like a big old like a cast that was just like a club?
Oh, that's what.
And then
Yeah. Well, I'd have to
you,
like
just
tape
carve
my
a-
stick. I have to tape my stick into my hand.
I was gonna say you could carve a little
gosh.
hand sized thing into it so that you could put your stick there,
No, I'll just tape it on because then I don't need to move it too much. Like this thing's free.
or just get a
That would be
cast that is a
so-
stick.
Uncomfortable. to
Oh,
watch.
there we go. Like a hook, but like with a hockey
Matt,
stick.
did we just have
Now
a
we're
$1
talking.
million idea?
No,
I think we did. Well,
not.
that's the podcast, everybody. We'll see you later.
it's not. A
Hey, nobody
movie.
take that. Okay, that's our idea. If I see it on Shark Tank, so help me.
You big trouble. My I think this thing's a little bit too tight because my fingers are starting to like get a little tingly. So I'll work on moving it later.
Dude, we're talking about you like your hand is probably broken, but definitely
It's
not
gone.
broken. And what you're worried about is, oh, it's on too tight. I'm getting a little tingly. And you want to go play hockey, but it's like, this is uncomfortable.
I just feel bad because I've missed so many games.
Well, whatever. You're injured.
Well,
You gotta-
because
No, Matt's the captain.
my whole ear issue, like I didn't go play all like for a month now because of my ear. Like I couldn't.
Why did you need to hear anything? There's enough.
I just
chaos
thought
there?
I
Why
was.
did you-
Yeah, well, I didn't feel right in the head as well. Like I just head cold. My ear didn't hear well, and here we are.
But it tried,
finally
though.
ready to play. I don't know. What'd you say? Did you ask me a
I
question?
said, well, I'm sorry, what now? I said your ear tried. It tried to
It
hear.
really-
It's been trying.
Oh, well, I guess I have just a couple minutes here. So for those of you playing at home and want to know what's going on with my ear, I went to the doctor this last week for my follow-up
This is
ENT
Matt's
appointment.
medical podcast.
I know, it really is. I was doing really well for a good 40 years until this happened. See, yeah, ear has to do with your balance. So I was worried I wasn't going to be able to play well.
Oh,
So
I forgot about
I
that
had this
part of it.
infection that wasn't going away and got on these new meds and went to the ENT this last week. And they're like, well, it's a lot drier in there. And I was like, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
You don't usually say that. So
All those
I went and
cotton
did a
balls
hearing
were doing
test.
their job, I guess.
Went to this hearing test and they put this these headphones on me and then they took one side off and put this thing on the bone behind your ear because it vibrates there. And it had me press a little button whenever I heard the high pitched sound. And then she said, I'm going to say words and I want to have you repeat them to me. And my voice is going to get softer and softer. And I was like, oh, I've never had this kind of test before, but go
Literally
ahead.
whispering
And
sweet nothings into
she's
your
like,
ear.
potato chip. I was like, I'm telling you, the words were so strange. Like couch. And like she had to fold it up her mouth so you couldn't see her mouth. Like, hot dog. No. So I got through this test and I went back to the room and like this whole time, like my hearing has improved. No, but I just felt like it still, something was wrong still. And the ENT doctor comes back in and she's like, well, looking at your, based on the sounds you heard and like, you have like this line of like when the sounds are played and whether or not you press the button or not. And she's like, your right ear, that was my good ear. She's like, you can see it kind of drops off when it gets to the higher frequencies. Not surprised, went to a lot of concerts. Probably can't hear a lot of those high pitched sounds. That's fine. And she said, the ear you had surgery on, the one you're having issues with, which is I had surgery on about 5 years ago. And she said, you can tell there's a difference between the two, but this is actually a really good range, like from what you can hear in it. And I was like, well, on paper, it looks like you can hear. I said, well, that's really strange because in my head, I can't. Like this ear doesn't sound. I can only hear my own voice basically in my head. I mean, that's a little of exaggeration. It has improved in the past like month or so. But she said that she's like, I'll see you in 2 months. Let's see if it continues to heal. And I was like, okay, let's find out what happens. And
Well, I want to see your ear on TikTok where some doctor goes in and
pulls out
like
a spider.
peels the scab off the inside of your ear and all that good stuff. Have you made it to that part of TikTok yet, Matt?
No, well, I just don't want to do that at all.
All right, well, I'll send you the videos. No problem.
No.
I gotcha.
All right. Currently Curious says whenever she sits down to eat a meal, she eats all the stuff that she likes the least first, so then she can enjoy every single bite of the rest of her meal. Is that normal?
Yeah.
I think so too.
That's what I do.
I also just eat everything in segments. I don't
Yes, I don't mix.
take a bite of a burger and then have fries.
Yeah.
It's like I eat the whole burger.
And then I eat the
all
fries. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a normal thing. Is that a normal thing?
I
Smallest pizza slice first to enjoy the big boy last. See, I go back and forth with that stuff though, because I think in my mind, but what if I get full before I reach the end?
well, then you have to
Then
know,
I've
like, you have to be listening to your body. So here's the thing.
Burble, burble, burble.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. We had our church Thanksgiving dinner last Wednesday, and I made it down to the mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes. And I asked Gabe, I said, Gabe, which was better, mac and cheese or mashed potatoes? And he's like, oh, mac and cheese all the way. So then I ate the mashed potatoes and then ate the mac and cheese. And there were very judgmental looks from the other people at the table, like, why did you do what? Why did you eat that way? Because you save the best for last, always. You always save the best. Then you're ending your meal on a good note.
Right. I get that.
There's nothing worse than eating the worst thing last and like having an empty plate and looking at it feeling like you just had the worst meal of your life because you had the worst thing last.
Dry green beans.
See?
Ending on a high note.
Anyways, so CJ said, because we talked about game disappointments, and then after that he sent this in and said, I enjoyed hearing about your game disappointment stories. Maybe Christmas gift highlight games to kick off the Christmas season. Example, there's video evidence of me opening Super Mario 3 and skittering away excitedly. And my mom looked at the camera and said, that is the last we'll see of CJ for the next 3 or 4 hours.
Only that long?
That's it?
I know. So forever.
What a casual, that guy.
Forever remembered in the family footage for that moment. So
I don't know that there's any footage of me opening.
Do you not have a Nintendo 64 moment?
A Nintendo 64. I do. There is photographic evidence of me, and I think I actually have them
young
in
Bubby
this
opening
box that I'm looking at.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's me opening. It was either like a. It was in Ninja Turtle or Ghostbuster stuff. I was very into Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters as a kid, and a lot of that has carried over to me being pretty still into Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters. Who's my favorite one? Me. I was my favorite. I went as Halloween as a Ghostbuster.
You were on the team?
Yeah, absolutely. They couldn't do it without me. You kidding me?
Well, yeah. Don't cross the streams, okay?
My favorite Ghostbuster was always like from the cartoon, like the real Ghostbusters. I'm giving you the answer here. When it was Slimer in the real Ghostbusters, and Slimer became an honorary Ghostbuster. That's my favorite.
Oh.
I would have never in a million years guessed that.
No?
Well, now
Next
when we
time.
play
Next
that
time you'll
game,
know.
remember we played that game that I invented called Two. What was it? Two
Birds with one stone, yeah.
2 fibs and a lie.
No.
3 things that are probably not true.
It was something like messed up about the game. Well, two lies and a truth, 2 truths and a lie, something like that. It wasn't the
yeah.
normal one. We'll ask this question. What?
Okay,
Was
gotcha.
it? I don't know.
I think so.
See now
well,
I'm picturing Sir Ian McKellen doing Matt's bit right there in the movie.
Okay, yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And you just like he can get like a little bit annoyed, like full of a cake.
Full of Kate.
Well,
Yes.
Kate, do you have a Nintendo 64 moment?
no. Well, one year, my brother and I, more than anything, wanted to play Dance Dance Revolution at home
Last year, got it.
because we would make my dad take us to the bowling alley where we could play DDR at the arcade and use all of his money there.
Oh, you can almost taste the cigarettes.
Or
you
we'd
know,
play
just-
it, or we'd play it at school, and we wanted it so bad, and we opened this present, and it was a DDR mat. And
No
we
way.
were screaming. We were literally screaming.
And
I don't
what's
know
the game or
anyone.
without the game?
So
the
far,
full
it was
cabinet.
it was just the mats at that time, but we knew that if there was the mats, the rest of it had to be there.
he messed up.
The
It would have
rest
been
of it,
really great if it was like the Disney version of DDR. Isn't this
You've
what
seen
you wanted?
Sydney.
like no.
Hey, come on. How old were you?
That's Disney.
However old you are in 6th grade?
9.
No,
No,
11.
10.
11.
11 maybe. Yeah, 10 or
Someone
11, and my brother was
many.
2
Am I
years younger
talking
than
today?
me. What?
No.
I didn't think so.
So we were
Okay,
so
do you still have it?
excited. We were so excited, and these were just the mats. And then we opened the rest of it up, and there was the game and a PlayStation 2. And more than the PS2, we were just excited about the DDR mats.
Wait a second. You didn't even have a PlayStation 2? And you
No.
This is a big Christmas.
Yeah, so my parents got us a PlayStation
Wowee.
so that we could play Dance Dance Revolution at home.
Any
Only
other
Kate
games?
would bury the lead of getting a PlayStation 2.
Because that wasn't the most exciting thing about it. The
Well,
most
I have a lot of
exciting thing
questions.
Was that we had
A lot of
DDR at
questions.
home, as I keep saying.
Go ahead.
What?
The floor recognizes
I
Matt
just-
Warmbier.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ian.
I was wondering if you two things. The first of which, were there any other games included in this Christmas?
I don't even remember because all I cared about was Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay. Secondly, which version of the PlayStation 2 did you receive that year, Christmas 1998?
It wasn't 1998. It was like 2002.
Whatever.
4 years difference.
Irrelevant.
Which
yeah,
version?
nobody
I
cares.
don't think it
Don't
might
need to
have
witness,
been.
okay.
It might have been the slim version.
Slim? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Not a fan of the slim version.
Well,
It's all I have now.
I
but-
think I don't know. Again, I wouldn't notice
was
something
it
like
big
that. in
or
my
was it
excitement.
slim?
It was
Was it
normal
big or
size. It
slim?
wasn't as big as the Dance Dance Revolution playmat.
Yeah, who cares about the
It
PlayStation?
wasn't
Just
as
plug it into
big
your
as the
dad.
playmat. Got it.
I
Okay,
don't care.
that narrows it down. Actually, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we plugged it in right away and had a quick little dance off.
Yeah, we only had the small DDR when you play with your fingers, so it was always smaller than the PlayStation.
A controller? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
use a
trying to say?
controller.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so then we started using that too, and my parents were like, "That's not why we got this for you."
Yeah, seriously, we wanted to exercise.
No, that's any parent that gets their kid a video game console for exercise. It doesn't know anything about video games.
Why?
What about
my,
Wii Fit?
My friend lost like 50 pounds on Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay,
Actually, pretty impressive.
but I mean, you can play DDR with the controller.
Yeah, I mean that's not how she lost the weight.
It's like when people came, but they bought the Wii and they're like, oh, this is like the fat kid killer and all sorts of stuff. Everybody's gonna lose so much weight, and then it was a week in, and people were just sitting in chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I hated laying down and playing the Wii because
Or
it
it's
was
like
hard to do.
my
Sorry for your loss, Matt.
my Gammy got a Wii and she was gonna do the Wii Fit stuff in the living room, and the first thing you get on that stand and it weighs you. She quit because my grandpa something about my grandpa somehow weighed less than her or did better than her on the first game that they played. So she's like, forget
This
it.
thing's garbage.
It should have been motivation.
She said, forget it, it's done.
Another motivation.
Brand new Wii just sitting in there.
What was it? It wasn't like a color one, was it? Like what? It was just white, or was it?
It was
was
just
it black?
white. No, it was just
Okay.
white. It's very plain.
I have a white
I always
one and a
wanted,
black one.
I wanted the red one always.
Oh well.
Too
So
expensive.
for me, I think that this gift probably changed the course of of my life. The year was 1987.
Oh.
And
Whoa.
I know, 1987, and I had played video games before, and I enjoyed them. My uncle had an Atari, and it was fine. I wasn't very good at Pitfall. I wasn't very good at the racing game, like indie racing game. But in I think it was 87. It may have been 88, right in there.
So
my
we're talking
grandma,
like 6-year-old, 7-year-old Matthew.
yeah,
right
my
here.
grandma
Wow.
bought me an NES, and I had like no idea that it was coming, and I was just so excited. I think that's kind of like where I really became a lot more interested in gaming, like from that point on, because like I had enjoyed it. I just had no way to actually do it.
Sure.
So I remember opening it at her house, really, really, really wanting my dad to hook it up to the TV, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it, and he made us wait until we got home. And even then, we'd wait till the next day because it was already late, and I was just like,
you
know,
didn't get to play it
kids-
at your grandma's house.
That's so
No.
brutal.
Yeah. You know how kids are like rolling on the ground when they're just like have so much energy. I'm sure I was
Yes.
doing that. And he just
Well,
well,
and
anyway.
especially you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Me, imagine 6-year-old Matt. But
We're only 6 feet
these
tall.
like I oftentimes forget about these stories. Like that's kind of like where my gaming love happened. And then my grandma just passed away like a month ago, and like all these like memories were coming back, and I was like, oh man, like this is like the direction. Like you giving me this kind of like moved me this direction, and you don't like really realize until you kind of like think back about stuff like this.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Real
Little Matt
deep.
playing Zelda.
That is pretty crazy.
I told you, Kate. Little Matt playing Zelda and Mario, and like building bonds with like my sibling and my dad and friends who
Yeah.
come over and play, and like seeing the power of like community and gaming at a very young age. So thanks, Grandma.
Wow.
Oh, that was a really good one. Now Bubba and I
Yeah,
look
that was
like really.
No, no, it was okay. So those of you parents getting your kids a Switch or a PlayStation 2 Slim with the DDR pad, like it may just seem like a gift, or you know, you're sure they'll enjoy it, but you just kind of don't know like what that is going to lead to when they're older. So
Yeah. Wow. So I mean, something to legitimately be said about not just getting your kids things that you think they need, but things that they actually enjoy and are asking for. But I mean, how could anybody have known what video games would become
Right.
back then? How?